Today, I'm going to answer Lance Singer 8243 because he asked about how could you do or how does profit firms work for newbies. So if you're a newbie, if you're not a newbie, you want to watch this video because I'm going to show you exactly how prop firms work and how you can take advantage of it. Now, look, there was another comment I got on the same video from Quick Baby, and he wants to change his life and not be broke anymore. So this is part of it too. I'm going to start by answering Quick Baby and say, look, there's some things that you need to change. One is mindset, and you have to decide that you don't want to be broke. And that means that you got to change doing what you're doing, right? And so what does that first thing look like? The first thing is you need to stop getting in debt, and you need to start putting money into the market or saving something and starting to create additional income. But really, if you're in crushing debt, it's so hard to do. It's really hard to out earn your debt. Now, I'm not saying it can't be done because it can be, but when you trade to try to unearn your debt, it's really tough because why? Because you're in all this massive debt. You put the little bit of money you have into the market and then you lose that, and it makes it even worse, and it's soul crushing, right? It's soul crushing. Now, a disclaimer, I have done it, but I haven't done it the way you might think. I've done it by taking a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. And then when I start making some money trading, then I use it to pay off a little bit of that debt. But really focus on cranking that debt off. Focus on just consistency, right? Just like I'm consistently trading every day. I'm consistently doing content in YouTube every day. I'm consistently taking a little bit of money out of the market, or I'm consistently adding a little bit. I pay myself first, add it into some other type of thing. So that's what you really got to do. It starts with your mind, make a decision. So I wanted to just hit that real quick. And then now let's go ahead and talk about the prop firm. All right. So let's get started. I wanted to start here and explain how it works. I got an article on my website, tradingstrategyguides.com, everything you need to know, the beginner's guide. So go ahead and check that out later. But the first thing I want you to understand is how does it actually work? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and show you the way that it works is that you trade with my money or some other prop firm's money. I have a prop firm, and mine is called Global Prop Trader. Okay, so here it is, Global Prop Trader, and I'm going to go into a lot of detail here. This is our prop account, right? And the way that it works is you go in and you can start here. $250 gets you an account that is up to 25,000. Now, how does it work? You have to make 10%. You have to make 10%. You lose a total of 6%. Okay, so what does that mean? That means you have to make 2,500 and you have to make 2,500. When you do that, then you get access to this account. Now, there's a lot of different kinds of prop accounts, prop companies. Some of them you have to do phase 1 and phase 2, which means you have to do 10% twice. We're just one phase. Other companies, you have to do it in 30 days. We don't do that, right? So if you go back to the previous video I did a couple days ago about my $1 million plan, I'm actually going to take you guys through that $1 million plan. I'm going to talk about it today, right? So the $1 million plan was you got to get a strategy where you make 3% a month. And then you do that. And why do I say 3%? Because to make 3% without hitting 6% drawdown is relatively achievable. If you try to do 10% in 1 month, you're going to have to increase your size too big. And that's why this 6% right here, that's why people fail these tests. I see this all the time. People fail these tests all the time. Okay. So for beginners, this is how it works. You pay $250 to get access to 25,000, right? Don't do it until you can at least make 3% a month consistently. Don't do it, right? But then once it happens, you pass the test. I mean, it's really straightforward. Step 1, you pass the test, and then step 2, you get the live account. And then you can take withdrawals. The way we do it is you can take a withdrawal once a month. And when you order this, let's just do this. When you order this, you can upgrade to get 90% payout, right? Because there's different options here, okay? And so you select your account balance, you select your platform, MT4, MT5, and that's why I said, then you can increase your 90-10 share. So you get 90%. So you pay an extra $100, but you get a 90%. So it's really worth it because over the course of the year, you want to get a 90% payout. And then if you want, which is what I do, I also trade on the weekend. So it actually costs $650, but it's totally worth it to get access to $50,000, right? So once you do that, you add on. If you don't like a stop, I don't think that's worth it. Pay to have more risk. Double leverage, not really worth it for me either. So these are the two that I really need. And then you just create the order, and it's that simple. Okay, so then once you do that, let's go ahead to the next step. You're going to get a dashboard, and I'm going to show you a current test that I'm taking right now. This dashboard is $50,000, okay, and it shows you where you are at. You just click it. So right here's my balance. It's at 50,000, and then I'm up to $50,494. What does that mean? That means I've got 1%. And my goal, remember, 3% a month. I'm at 1% so far for December. So the idea is to pass this in about 3.5 months. And I've already kind of talked about the plan. You got the PDF. I can put the PDF in the description here too. I got a lot of stuff to put in the description. But the idea here is to pass this test. And there's some other things. This is the target up here. So we got to get our balance up to here, but then it has our equity. Okay, so my equity, I was down a little bit, but now you can see my equity is at 51,500. So I'm making progress here. I'm making progress. So this is your dashboard. It tells you what your max daily loss is, what your total maximum losses are, where your equity limit is. So if my account drops down to $47,969, then I'm out. But right now it's at 51,502. So I've got a pretty good, leeway, but that can go away in a hurry if you're not managing your risk properly. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the actual trading platform here, and I'm just going to show you what the trading platform looks like. And this is it. Okay. And I wanted to kind of show you too the strategy. Yesterday I did a strategy, and I was talking about the alligator, how it touches the bands. And you can see I actually followed my own strategy here. I should have mentioned this in the video yesterday. I don't know why I didn't, but I went in, it touched the bands. You can see we've got a really nice trend, alligator here. It touched the bands, and then I got in short. And then I added another position as it broke lower just because I thought it looked pretty cool. And so we're on our way. And so I'm targeting down here. I put my stop right here. And so if I can hit this target, that'll be another really nice trade, and I'll be well on my way to passing this test. Okay, and so then after I do that, after I pass this test, but again, it's very important that you go slow, you take your time, you risk, you don't act crazy. Here's something that I'm going to stop on for a minute, what I see people do. Because I look at these tests, I see people, they're trading really good, and then when they get on the test, they act crazy or they make some dumb mistakes. So you got to just take your time. Don't make any dumb mistakes. Work hard at passing the test, and you're going to do just fine. Okay, so once I pass this, what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to trade live $50,000. Okay, I'm going to trade live for 50,000. And that's really all you need to know. Well, there's one other concept here that I want to talk about, which is the trailing drawdown. Okay, it's a trailing drawdown. And so let's just let's go back. I'll go back and explain it with this with the other chart here. Let's see here. This one. Okay, so this is the trailing drawdown, okay? I'm going to remove everything but our equity. Now, and the trailing drawdown. Okay, so you see this red line? As my balance goes up, the drawdown goes up with it. So you can see that, right? Or let's do balance. As the balance goes up, the drawdown goes up, right? Right here. It goes up and up. And so when it hits this red line, you're out. So now that it started at 47 and now it's at 47.6. So if I come back down here, I'm out. But what's going to happen is if right here I pop back up a little bit, this trailing drawdown is going to go up again. Okay. And that is always going to be 6% behind you so that you're always going to be trading safe. Now, that's what really gets people. Sometimes they get up, they get really close, they forget about this, and then it comes down. So you got to watch it. Now, another little tip, a little nugget of wisdom here is that it doesn't move on equity. Okay. So that means, you see this? My equity is this light blue line. Look at my equity, and my trailing drawdown didn't move. So I'm building up my account value, but I'm not messing with my trailing drawdown. So as soon as I close these trades, my balance is going to shoot up here, and then this will go up. So what does that mean? Well, I like to wait as long as possible and let the trades run so that I don't have to worry about my trailing drawdown, right? But I'm really always watching the thing. I'm always watching these numbers just so I don't hit it, because it's easy. They can sneak up on you. And so if you haven't taken a test like this before, they can sneak up on you. But when you sign up for our prop firm, you're going to get a dashboard just like this. Now, one other thing I want to note, this is a practice test, but once you get a live account, the max trailing drawdown actually stops at 50K. So let's show you what that means. I'm going to get rid of all this. So the max trailing drawdown will stop. So if this is the 50K, it'll stop. Okay, now the good news is that it'll come up and then it'll just stop. But if you bring your account up to 60K, you bring it up to 70K, you bring it up to 100K, you're always going to be safe and you won't have to worry about losing the account. Now, when you take your withdrawal out, you bring it up to $100,000 and you take your withdrawal out, well, then the balance drops back down. Your trailing will stop at 50, but let's say you get your account up to 100K, 100, okay, and you take out 50. Ooh, great trading, dude. Wow, nice work. Okay, then you're right at your trailing drawdown. So if you lose $1, you're out. So you want to give yourself a little bit of buffer when you take out withdrawals. So I would always leave like 10K in there, just so I always have a $10,000 buffer, right? And that's no big deal at all. Okay. One other thing I wanted to talk about with our prop firm, just so everybody is aware. Let's go back to the account, and then I also want you guys to leave questions too in the comments if you have any. Give me some questions. All right, so here's the prop account. What I want you to understand is there's a lot of different things that you can trade. So we go over here to the Market Watch, and we can go over here. We can trade Forex, lots of different Forex pairs. We can trade gold, which is a euro or dollar based. You can trade silver. We can trade Brent crude oil, West Texas, copper, soybeans, corn, natural gas, and wheat. We can trade the UK 100, US 30, NASDAQ, S&P, France. So there's a lot of indexes. There's a bunch of cryptos to trade, well, only 3. And then there's stocks, a bunch of stocks. Okay. Now, I've been trading McDonald's. One thing to note about the stocks is that when you're trading with stocks, there's no leverage. This is McDonald's. So if you open it up and you take a trade, one share of McDonald's, if it goes up that day to 300 and you make $11, you're only going to make $11 because it moves per one share. So you have to actually buy like 1,000 shares of McDonald's to actually get this to do anything. But that, in a nutshell, is how prop trading works. If I forgot anything, if you have any questions, let me know. And hey, also, tomorrow I'm going to be talking about my options trading strategy and how I'm doing. And then before the end of the year, we're going to talk about my full plan, because I've got a crypto plan, I've got a currency trading plan, a prop trading plan, a stock plan. I've got a whole basket of strategies that I'm running, and I'm working them all together to maximize my wealth. So wanted to let everybody know about that. Again, hit me up in the comments. For the people in the front end that I answered your comments, thank you. I want to make this a real place for education and learning. And so keep up the good work, everybody.